healing from domestic violence. And I'll use a name as it's just an imaginary name. And I call this client of mine Nancy. Okay, so I'm going to talk to you about 7 steps of Nancy healing from domestic violence. Oh, thank you so much, Dee. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And this is first is number one, even in any first aid situation, you want to make sure there's safety. So number one is safety. Healing process begins when your victim, like in this case is Nancy, who is a victim of abuse, is finally away from the abuser, who is in this case the husband or the partner, if they're not married but just living together. And unfortunately, this step can take months, years or even to plan, not even just to start healing. So it might take months or years, and not everybody heals the same way. I heal differently from, let's say, Dee Marie, or we all have different types of length of healing because we are all unique individuals. And this is just making sure that the person is not physically close to the person who abused the person, because especially physical abuse, you want to make sure. That's why when you are in a certain area and you look for a shelter, they'll take you opposite place from where you used to live. Many people don't like that, but the reason being, these shelters know that if you feel like you're not close to this person who used to abuse you, you'll feel safe. You'll wake up in the morning, go to the shop, buy something and come back. But if you're in the same vicinity, you'll always be scared. You'll always want someone to go with you. And the more you get scared, the more it's going to be affecting you mentally. And then this is how many people end up in mental health facilities. The second step will be having a stabilized environment. So stabilized environment is a place where you feel like you have a therapist, and this therapist could be a counselor, could be a psychologist. Some people go even talk to their GP, general practitioners. And once you dive into the healing process, after you are deemed safe, you feel more, you can listen to the person talking, and you might be able to open up more. And in this stabilized environment, we always encourage someone to have 1 or 2 people they talk to apart from yourself as a counselor. You want to talk to somebody who is very close to you, like a friend, like a sister, like a mother. Somebody you feel like when you tell them, they listen. The whole thing about trauma is you want to talk to someone who will be listening to you, not someone whom you feel like they're not listening to you at all. You want to talk to somebody and feel like they're listening. And you will know how, if someone is listening, because they'll be responding to you the way you want. They'll be telling you feel safe talking to them. You'll feel safe talking to them too. And there are these people who will tell you it wasn't your fault that this happened. So that is one of the stabilized environment we want you to be in after experiencing domestic violence. And when these people are around you, then you get something called support that is unconditional. So once you have your therapist or your counselor or whoever you talk to, could be a pastor in church, could be imam in a mosque. Once you have those people you're talking to, and then you have maybe one friend or you have one relative who could be your sister or could be a cousin, that means you already have a safety and support, and you have unconditional support. And this way you can always talk to them the way you want to. Thank you so much, Lotus. I appreciate you. Thank you for coming. Thanks, Mr. No-Cap. So you want to have those people that will listen to you. And you realize if you want to know people who are going through this and they're even scared to talk about it, they'll want to do things that they did not do in their relationship while they're outside the relationship. And that's why you'll find they found people that are colluding with what they're doing. And those are the people they'll tell the truth. And this is part of healing. There's something called, number 4 will be share the experience. And this is why Thank you so much. This is why I particularly say, whether it's here, I've been sharing this on Facebook as well, but whether it's here, whether it's Facebook, whether it's TikTok, wherever I share this information, I need people to come up and talk about their experiences. And this is why I say, if you share your experience, you're talking about it, and talking about it openly to somebody, and somebody is listening to you, is part of healing. That is therapy already to itself. You don't even need to go to another therapist. If you keep sharing your story, you're trying to share your experiences. You're listening to other people's experiences. Some people might have even worse experiences than you think you yourself has. I thought mine was bad, and then I listened to somebody else and like, oh, mine's better. So that helps you. Just saying mine's better, hers is worse, it helps you heal already. Already your heart is light, just realizing that your story is not as bad as you thought it was. So share your experiences with people. Not everybody will listen to it, but just share anyway. If you can talk to somebody and feel that they're ignoring you, you just shut up and don't feel bad, don't feel embarrassed. Continue. You're gonna meet somebody else whom you'll share the story with. Somebody will listen to your story, and many people will want to listen to your story because this is real, and especially after the pandemic. Settle incidences. To settle incidences is to be aware of what happened to you. So, for example, my client Nancy already had only physical. All he called abuse was physical. But when you sit down with her and talk, or when I sit down with her and talk to her, she'll talk about about stuff with money, like when you go to the shop, bring me the receipt. She didn't know that was abuse. That was financial abuse and control. When she she said she's gonna take kids to the school and she never did, or she was gonna take kids to the park, and the partner came and found they were still at home. Why are you still here? That is abuse. So you have to settle everything with your client. And if you're the client, you have to make sure you go through every single step, that you tell your story since you got married or since you get into a relationship. Say how you were behaving so people can help you break down. You had this type of abuse. And it's good to realize this is abuse, because if you get another relationship and that happens, you won't know it was abuse. It will be abuse. So you'll be repeating the same thing. So settle incidences, decide,